1940, a year which saw a historical event which plays a prominent feature when one speaks about the Second World War. The relevance of said events made it as far as being adapted on different types of mediums and genres thereof, more especially visual art. We have seen, amongst others, documentaries, a 2007 film, and a 2017 blockbuster feature-length film. I've read a couple of write-ups and watched some videos which argue there is historical inaccuracies of which the two highlight films brought about. But the issue I had in the past was the polar opposites in the feelings that one gets when watching the Christopher Nolan film and the 2007 Joe Wright film. Before we go further, a brief summary of the films. Atonement is a love story told where a single decision made by someone sets up a tragedy in a family and harmful consequences involving everyone, more especially a man named Robbie Collins. The man is arrested and later released only on the condition that he serves in World War II, which brings us to how the movie touches on Dunkirk. The Christopher Nolan film is also a movie about the events of Dunkirk, but it is more about the event itself, a showing of the event and nothing else. No character motivations other than survival, no lead character, no main story involved. What am I getting at here? Let's first look at the Nolan film. What it's bringing is a general feeling which the place gives. You're having an idea of what's happening not only as an audience, but it also brings you as though you're one of the units on the beach and you are part of the fear and the uncertainty of whatever that can happen. The movie just tells you that these people are probably going to die and they're hoping for something. You're hearing the incoming sound in the air. You don't know where it's coming from, but you believe that it's coming and it's in danger and it's going to kill you. We believe that there is danger. We believe that the impending sound is danger because we saw from the beginning that they're surrounded and that they're in danger. We're hearing explosions from the background. We're not seeing what's causing. All we're hearing is the sound of something dropping, and we see people going down, and we also feel the same way. That's what we get from the Nolan film. What do we get in Atonement? In Atonement, we see Robbie Collins running to the beach and having inquiries. He walks up to his commander, he asks, "What's going on?" The commander says, "No, just wait here." And then we see miscellaneous activity. We see a soldier who's catatonic. We see people running to the sea. We see someone screaming from a boat. We see horses being killed. We see someone practicing gymnastics. Now, what does that tell us? What is the issue with regards to how these two are shown? Christopher Nolan is bringing in the fear. He's bringing in the danger of what's happening around the soldiers. Joe Wright took another approach. Atonement, from what we learn later in the movie, is that it's a story whereby the second act is mostly based on the imagination of the storyteller. So what are we getting at? It's all happening in the mind of someone. We can go further and say that what we are seeing on the beach is what's happening in the mind of each of the soldiers. When we enlist, we all come from different backgrounds. We all were good at something. We were not really the same people. We were not destined to enlist and serve in the army. Overall, we all had our different traits. We all had our own ambitions. The person who's doing the gymnastics is probably a professional gymnast, and he's standing there, and what's in his mind is, I could be doing this. The people singing or save us are remembering home, and also the songs remind them of why they're fighting, why they're serving. The horses being killed could be a representation of the story of how Winston Churchill contacted one of the French officials requesting that weapons be sent to the beach, and the French official responded with, "Why don't you get some horses and just go save them with them?" That could be the killing of the idea, the visual representation of how bad an idea that was. What is my point? What is the reason for me highlighting these two contrasts? Christopher Nolan is bringing in the realistic aspect of what happened in Dunkirk. All we're getting is an interpretation, a retelling of what we already know. Joe Wright, in Atonement, is bringing us the psychological aspect. So it goes back to my initial argument. It's not necessarily something that I can view as an either or. I can actually watch both to understand what's going on in the events, and I can watch Atonement to understand what's going on in the heads of the soldiers. That's the fascinating thing about the two movies. That's all we have for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Continue the conversation on movies, and hope to see you next time. Thanks.